Hey there, welcome back. As I mentioned previously, I took the mode move to cut off my corporate handcuffs a couple years ago, right? Yes, I retired from my career once and for all, and I thought retirement would finally make me free. Well, I spent 30 plus years preparing for it, right? I saved, I invested, I built businesses on the side, and when I finally retired, I made a mistake that almost nobody talks about. I retired from my information technology industry and my company, but I didn't retire from chasing. I simply traded one set of handcuffs for another. All right, I just couldn't see it yet. You see, for decades, freedom meant having enough investments and having enough passive income, having multiple businesses, options. That was success to me. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I believe that financial and time freedom matters a lot. That's important. I'm not attacking making money, and I'm attacking the belief that money answers life's biggest questions. Let me share with you what happened in my life. I finally left my corporate career, right? Retired, and guess what? I immediately started planning how to grow my other businesses. I thought, wow, this is finally my chance to have the time to work on my own stuff, my businesses, but now I can do all this full time without having the time sucking job that I've been competing with, getting in my way. I didn't think I'd ever retire in the sense that I'd be sitting in front of the TV all day. I knew that wouldn't be what it looks like. I thought that now I can finally thrive as the entrepreneur, solopreneur that I've always dreamed about, right? More than ever, more clients, more real estate transactions, having more business opportunities come my way, having more skills that I can develop. AI was exploding. I can really jump into that more, build more websites, increasing more revenue. And I told myself I wasn't working anymore, right? But if I'm honest, I actually was. Only now, instead of having a boss, I had customers, I had websites, projects, and contracts to prepare, following up with all these people, emails, phone calls, and I really simply designed another career for myself, one that I just couldn't walk away from because I've built it myself. My corporate handcuffs has simply become entrepreneurial handcuffs. All right. One day, my wife asked me, "Why are you so busy for? You don't need to work anymore. Your life is just slipping away and you're just neglecting everything else." That stuck with me. And and it made me look at what was happening in my life. I asked myself a question. When do I know I've arrived? If another 5,000 a month would do it, what about like another 10,000? What about having another business? Would another rental property do it? Another investment? At what point do I stop building life and actually start living it? That question haunted me. I remember sitting in my office one afternoon, and I had the whole day in front of me. No bosses, no meetings to go to. Nobody was making me work. Yet there I was with a full schedule, juggling projects, checking emails, annoying customers still, and customer issues and stuff, looking at all these business ideas. And also I was frustrated and angry about why like Google rejected one of my GMBs. And suddenly I asked myself, man, what am I doing here? Like I realized for over 30 years, my identity wasn't actually tied to my company. It was tied to productivity. I wanted achievement, right? Constantly building, constantly making progress, building more income, even after retirement, I still measured my worth by what was being produced, not by who I was becoming. Does that make sense? That realization changed everything. Instead of chasing, I slowed down. I started asking different questions. What actually brings me joy? What kind of a husband do I want to become? What kind of a father, a friend, what kind of a man do I want to be? Instead of asking, what can I build? I started asking, who can I become? What can I become? There was one there was one business I started growing actually after I had quit my job, and it was involving Rank and Brand and websites and all that, and it didn't really turn out as fruitful as I really expected or wanted it to be. So I made a decision to start slowing it down. I had another diabetic business that was flourishing. I mean, it was going well beyond my imagination, but it was also bogging me down though a lot by giving me a lot of other headaches, um, more customers and other supply issues and stuff like that. A lot of challenges. It was very, very rewarding. So I decided to slow that down as well in a huge way. Instead, I wanted to focus on my own health, pursue more weight training and cycling to make myself feel more free, have more, be more alive and more relaxed, have more fun. Like cycling wasn't just about miles anymore. It was about feeling more alive. Travel wasn't just about going on vacations. It was about having more experiences, right? I've always I've always went on vacations every year, but the reality is that even during travel, I was looking at my phone, keeping a finger and a pulse on my businesses while all on vacation. I didn't like that, and I didn't want that to be the case anymore, or at least reduce that as much as possible, right? When I was reading and learning things, it was about business techniques, marketing, sales, but now reading is more about growth and curiosity. Relationships are mattering more, right? I actually started to slow down and I started to feel my own loneliness that I never even focused on or even felt mattered. And even doing this YouTube thing isn't just about creating another business, it's about documenting the search for a meaningful life. I spent 30 years learning how to build financial and time freedom, but nobody ever taught me how to live after I found it. So technically speaking, I do tell people that I'm retired because that's what I told my corporate world, that I retired from my career. But in reality, I never ever thought I would retire in the sense that I'm just clocked out, stop growing or earning an income. My income now comes in the form of like passive income, which I will touch on in future videos on what I'm doing there. But I want to focus on myself more, my future, my impact, building assets in my life that outlasts me, right? And building a legacy instead. You see, I don't think retirement is really about just retirement. It's about identity. Most of us spend decades becoming really good at what we do. Very few of us spend time becoming who we want to be. That's the journey that I'm on now. And it's not because I have all the answers, but because I finally started asking better questions and I have the freedom to slow down and do that. If you ever reached a goal only to wonder, like, now what? Maybe you've become the best that you can be in what it is, whatever it is that you were after, that you were living for, and then now you reached it. So now what? Maybe this channel is for you because I'm building that answer one chapter at a time. Keep designing your life, and I'll see you in the next chapter.